a romance recommendations video today. It's the first week of February, and so what a good time to share a variety of different romance series that I really like. I have 15 series here that I'm going to go through and just give a brief overview of each one. So within these series, we have some workplace romance titles, some high school romance titles, some taboo romance stories, a couple age gap romances, and it will be a mix of series that are wholesome and series with mature ratings. So I'm going to go through all of these 15 titles one at a time, and I will have timestamps below, so hope you enjoy. Alright, so starting out we have Wotakoi Love is Hard for Otaku. This is a comedy romance series that follows these two childhood friends that re-encounter in the workplace. It also follows two of their work colleagues that also have romance together. This is my #1 favorite manga series. I love it. It's so relatable as them as well as the side couple. All four of them have different otaku hobbies, so it's extremely relatable and just a really fun read. Very cute, and I give this one the highest recommendation. Wotakoi Love is Hard for Otaku. Next is this 2-volume taboo romance series, Haru's Curse. It was released in a 2-in-1 omnibus volume, but this series follows a young woman whose sister has recently died as she enters into a romantic relationship with her late sister's ex-fiance. Thus, the taboo relationship. I really love this series. I cry every time that I read it. It's really emotionally moving, but also has really funny moments, really sad moments, but just both of these characters are very quirky and just both very different, but also very lovable. This one does have some triggering content in it though, so definitely check out the trigger warnings before getting into this one. Next is another josei series, Perfect World, which follows these two who went to high school together and re-encounter as adults in the workforce. This is another one that gets me really emotional every time I read it. I cry every time that I read it, but I just really love it. It has a lot of drama in it, as there are a lot of obstacles and just frustrating things that happen to impede the romance between these two main characters. But I just love this story, and I love the characters, and I highly recommend this one, Perfect World. Next is Something's Wrong with Us, which is a taboo romance story between two childhood friends who re-encounter, but under very bad circumstances. In their youth, his father is murdered and her mother is blamed for the murder, and so after that, they just have a relationship that cannot be repaired. But this series follows their relationship after they re-encounter, and all of the drama that ensues. There is some revenge content, because as an adult, she still blames him for what her mother went through after being accused. But really love this one, even though it's full of drama. I just love all of the drama in it. Highly recommend this one, even though it looks like it might be a historical setting. It is set in the modern day, but it does have a lot of traditional Japanese themes with their clothing, as they are wagashi makers. And this series, the main story just completed with 16 volumes, and the 3 side story volumes are almost complete as well, with the 3rd one coming out soon. Next is a historical adventure romance series, Snow White with the Red Hair. And I actually pulled out the 2nd volume as well because I was looking through my shelves for a cover with both of them on it, and the first cover with the 2 of them is the next volume that releases this summer. So just going to share these 2 covers, but this is a adventure romance series that follows this girl as she flees her kingdom so that she can maintain her freedom after almost being forced to become a concubine. And then she meets this guy here, and the whole story follows their romance and the adventures that each of them have as she is training to become an herbalist, and he is dealing with his personal growth as well. But I really love this series and highly recommend it, Snow White with the Red Hair. Next is a very wholesome university romance series, A Sign of Affection. I feel like everyone already knows about this series, but if not, definitely should check it out. It follows this guy here who loves to travel and loves to learn languages, and this girl who is deaf. When they have their first encounter together and he becomes intrigued with who she is and what her life must be like, and starts to study sign language. This one does have an anime that just recently started airing. I haven't watched the anime yet, but I definitely love and highly recommend the manga series. The next 3 series are all high school romance. The first one being Kimi Todoke. Of course, I had to add this one to the list. This is my favorite high school romance series. It follows these two and basically follows them through high school as she is very shy and misunderstood by all of her classmates, and then he is a very popular boy in the school. But we see as opposites attract and their young romance and also their coming of age as the series does go through until they graduate from high school and are getting into college. But absolutely love this one. I'm really excited for the 3rd season of the anime that was recently announced. Really love the first 2 seasons. But this is just a classic shoujo romance, high school romance, and definitely recommend it if you haven't given it a try. The next high school romance series, In the Clear Moonlit Dusk, is by one of my favorite mangakas, Mikuyama Mori. This is another one that I find really wholesome and just, I love the art in it. It follows these two who are both called princes of the school. Her because of her looks and demeanor, and him because of his family status. And so just that they're such opposites, but the relationship that blooms between them as it is her first time experiencing romance. And while he has been in relationships before, his first time really having true feelings for someone. So really been enjoying this read and highly recommend it. The last high school romance series I want to recommend is Tomo-chan is a Girl. I love this one, as you can probably tell from my channel name, KK-chan is a Girl. It was taken from the title of this series, but this one follows these 2 high schoolers that are childhood friends. He is a jock, she is a tomboy, and also a bit of a tsundere. But just her struggle, as she has such strong feelings for her childhood friend, but he just sees her as one of the guys. But I really love the comedy in this. I really love Tomo. She's such a sweetheart. I also really love June. But this one is completed with 8 volumes. There was a recent 3-in-1 omnibus release, which I assume is going to be 3 volumes, and 2 volumes. But either way, highly recommend this one. This one did get an anime adaptation last year in 2023, and I loved the anime as well. So highly, highly recommend this high school romance series. Next is Our Dining Table. This one is a one-shot, so it's a really fast read, but it is just very wholesome. It follows this salaryman that is really lonely as he encounters these 2 brothers who ask him if he will teach them how to cook. And we see how he is befriended into their family with their single widower father and then the adult son and the younger son. But this is just a really wholesome series as well. It has a lot of content about food, but then also a romance that blooms. But I enjoyed my recent read of this one. My next romance rec is Tsubaki-chou Lonely Planet, which is another title by this mangaka Mikuyama Mori. This one does have an age gap romance. It follows this high school girl who becomes a live-in housekeeper for this novelist when her father has to move to a different area for work so that he can try to pay off their family's debts. But I really love this one. I love both of the main characters, as well as how their relationship is depicted as they get to know each other better. But really love this one. It is complete in Japan already, and it is still midway through the series release in English. Next is a bit of a taboo romance with Yakuza content, Yakuza Fiance, Raisei wa Tanagai. I love this series. I love all of the taboo elements in it, but it follows these 2, who are both grandchildren of Yakuza heads, as their grandfathers are trying to set them up to be married together. And the series follows them as they meet and start to spend time together and learn the secrets that they each have been keeping, as well as their true personalities. Really been enjoying this one. It does have a bit of violence in it, of course, because it's a Yakuza series, but I've been really happy with each new volume release of this series. And then another taboo romance series, this time with a historical setting, is Firefly Wedding. So of all the series that I've mentioned in this video so far, this is the only one that doesn't have an English print release yet, but this is one that does have an English digital license. But I really love it. It follows these two here. He is an assassin and she is a girl from a wealthy family who was kidnapped and then rescued by him, though initially he was aiding the kidnappers. But then it becomes a situation where she is really heavily relying on him, but he is an extremely dubious character and becomes a bit obsessed with her as they spend more time together. But I really love the comedy in this series. I love both of the main characters. There is a bit of violence, as he does use this katana in this series, but I've just been having such a good time reading this as each new chapter releases. So Firefly Wedding, definitely highly recommend this one. And the last two titles both have explicit content, so they're both rated mature. The first one is On or Off, which is a manhwa series that follows these two. It is a workplace romance series that does have an age gap romance. And I really enjoyed my recent read-through of this series. While the physical release is a mature rating, I believe that the digital release did have a mature and all ages release, so that is an option for you as well if you don't want to read explicit content. But I really like both of these main characters. I really love his personality, and then he is just so good looking, so would definitely recommend this one if you haven't checked it out yet. And then the last one, also a mature title, We Can't Do Just Plain Love. This one only has 2 volumes out so far, and I'm really looking forward to the volume 3 release. But this one is also a workplace romance series that follows 2 characters that both have a little bit of peculiarities about them. He has embarrassing reactions whenever he comes into contact with women, and she has a smell fetish and has fallen in love with the way that he smells. And so she offers to work together with him to overcome his involuntary reactions so that he can feel more normal when he is working closely with women in the workplace. But this one is really fun. I've really enjoyed it so far. It does have a lot of spicy content, but the scenes that are not spicy are also really fun and enjoyable too. I really like the characters and the story so far. But these were all of my romance recommendations. I hope if there were any new titles, you might consider giving them a try. If any of these are series you have read and also enjoyed, let me know in the comments. Of course, this is just a handful of romance series that I like. I have many more in my collection that I really love, but I was trying to keep this video a bit more concise while still including a lot of my favorites. But I hope you enjoyed watching and can find some fun romance titles to read. Thanks for watching.